long before laboratories, universities, and peer-reviewed journals. A simple idea rewired an entire civilization. That seeking knowledge was not optional. It was an act of worship. When Islam emerged in the 7th century, it entered a world where learning was often restricted to elites, priests, or inherited classes. Literacy was limited. Scholarship belonged to temples, courts, or a few privileged circles. Knowledge existed, but it was fenced off. Islam shattered that fence. From its earliest foundations, the message was clear. Understanding the world was not separate from faith. The universe was described as ordered, purposeful, and filled with signs meant to be read. To learn was not to drift away from God. It was to move closer to Him. This single shift changed everything. Suddenly, learning had moral weight. Teaching carried status. Ignorance was no longer neutral. It was something to be challenged. The pursuit of knowledge became a communal value, not a luxury. And that value spread fast. Mosques were not just places of prayer. They became centers of learning. Children learned to read so they could understand scripture, and literacy spilled outward into law, trade, medicine, mathematics, and administration. Writing, record-keeping, and study became part of everyday life in ways unseen in much of the surrounding world. This is where the engine starts, because once knowledge becomes sacred, it gets funded. Rulers sponsored scholars not just for prestige, but because scholarship was seen as a service to society and a duty before God. Libraries were built, schools were endowed, scholars were paid salaries, translation was encouraged, debate was protected, and here is the key detail most people miss. Islam did not limit knowledge to religious study. On the contrary, it absorbed everything useful. Greek philosophy, Persian administration, Indian mathematics, astronomy, medicine, engineering, optics, chemistry. If it helped understand the world or improve human life, it was welcomed. This is why the Islamic scientific explosion wasn't narrow. It was broad. Mathematicians refined algebra not for curiosity alone, but to solve inheritance law, trade, and architecture. Astronomers mapped the skies